All right, we just took level 4, and before we start questing, we're going to just do a few things. The first thing is we couldn't sell our last item because we would have been over the 5,000 plat limit. We could do that now. I'm just going to use my skill boost to get a little bit better haggle and sell this item. And then I'm going to buy a wide quiver. The reason I'm buying a wide quiver is it holds 6 different items instead of 3. Quiver works, uh, whoop, sell. Quiver works much like a bag. Double click on it, click auto gather. But unlike a bag, there's a slot you could stick it in here. So what this will now do is whenever we get arrows in a chest, it will go in here instead of our quiver. So it's actually long overdue. I should have done this at level 1. Just we didn't really run into inventory problems until we ran that last run on Keep on the Borderlands. The next thing I want to show you, we don't have the money yet, but I'm going to go ahead and head over to House Jorasco. This horse makes it really super fast. We'll make a few quick side trips. If you're not interested in this, we're just going to go to House Jorasco and look at the medium-sized bags that are for sale because our gem bag has been overflowing for quite a bit now. So that'll help with our inventory management. Let's also talk to this guy. He's got a quest available for us. All right, call quest. I don't know if we get any experience for that. I can't remember, but we'll do 3 things now. We'll go to House the 12 and get our larger inventory bag or ingredient bag for free. We could have done that earlier, but we just didn't really need to. So, um, but we'll get that now, and then we'll head to House Jorasco and take a look at what bags are for sale. We can't afford them now, but at some point we will. And when we start running into the 10,000 plat limit, that'll be our solution. Is we'll just go buy a bag. It's probably more important than anything else we could buy. We might just take a quick peek before we do that at the auction house and seeing if there's any good level 4 quarterstaffs or great swords that we could use. We're still using a level 1 quarterstaff. The quarterstaff we got from the Harbor Guard. It's still the best one we've seen in game, so that was a pretty lucky drop. That's helped quite a bit. All right. So just by talking to him, he gives us a small bag. I'm going to lock it, put it on auto gather. And we're out of spots here, so I'm just going to stick it in this next slot over. Soon we'll get 2 more slots packs from our Coin Lord favor. We won't have to use our points on that. We'll just get it automatically. Let's just check the auction house and check for level 4. And we want to check for quarterstaffs. As you can see, almost all the quarterstaffs are caster-based quarterstaffs. I don't really see anything really great. This is pretty good, but it's not really that much better than what we have now. So we'll just save our money for a bag, and we'll take a look at great sword. We have a pretty decent great sword, but we'll see if we find something particularly good. At this, no, not really. I think we'll just stick with what we have. At this level, the best weapon you could find would be a Vorpal Keen weapon. Vorpal on a 20 procs a death effect. Keen doubles your critical range, and there's a feat called Improve Critical, which we can't yet take, that does the same thing. Those don't stack. So at low levels, it gives you that ability that a high level feat has. It's really useful. And Vorpal, it's better with something that has a lot of attacks, like a heavy repeating crossbow that has 3 bolts per attack. But it's not bad, especially with our quarterstaff. We have increased attack speed, so we get more attacks. It does less damage than a great sword. But if we get a Vorpal quarterstaff, that would proc the death effect more because we're attacking more. Now that's uh, a big deal on orange name enemies that have a lot of hit points. All right, we're going into House Jorasco now. So we just went through the marketplace there. And once you go into House Jorasco, you head to this bridge and you make a right. Then you kind of make another right and follow along this edge here. Takes you to the empty-handed. And we're not going to be able to afford the bags, but I just want to show you where they are. They're from this general vendor here. All right, so I'm just going to use my skill boost and see what we'll be able to get it for, just so we know what target money we're looking for. They're 10,000 base. They get a little bit cheaper with haggle, so it looks like we would be able to get one for about a little under 8,500. So we can't afford them now, but we'll save up and soon be able to afford them. This is all, caster stuff here. They have bolts and some of the normal type items, but the big thing he sells are these. As you can see, the skill wore off. It's 8,600 without the skill, so that saves us over 150 or around 150 plat by using that haggle skill. All right, so next step, we're just going to go to the House Caneth crafting hall quickly here and run through this tutorial. We're not going to do crafting now, but we will do crafting at some point, probably later this life. We'll start looking at crafting. But I think it's a great, it's good to start this, and really every life, even before you're ready to start crafting, you should run through this tutorial because he gives you some pretty valuable items from it. Actually, you know what? Now that I remember, the crafting is only in House Kundrick crafting hall. There's a crafting hall in House Caneth. That's the one I usually use. And then there's a house crafting hall in House Kundrick, which was the original crafting hall before they added the second. And that is the only place you can do the tutorial. All right, so with Maker, we'll just ask him to guide us through each step. And then he wants us to buy some dissolver, some dust of disjunction, and he's saying we have to take them out of our bag because they'll go in our bag automatically. And we might buy a little extra just because we're probably going to start breaking down at some point for essences. All right, so let's take dust of disjunction. We'll just grab one of these. That makes a blank for crafting, and dissolver. Let's take 100 of those and stick them in our bag. Let's see, what did he have here? Soul bags. There's a spell called Trap the Soul that lets you get soul gems that are used in crafting. Recently, the devs put out a new type of um, guard that goes on like armors and boots called Trap the Soul Guard. And so if you get an item that's Trap the Soul Guard, you might want to buy that soul gem bag because you can collect those for crafting. Or if you don't want to craft with them, you could sell them. They're quite good. So let me. All right, I'll go purchase some materials. I forgot to take them out of the bag. Let's see. Okay, they went in this bag probably because it's first. So I'm gonna stick this in here. Talk to him. He's gonna give us a staff and says, "All right, I'll use that and the dissolver." He said dissolver. All right, so we'll stick it in with the dissolver, and it makes a Caneth essence. So it goes into our small ingredients bag. So let's take it out in case he wants to see it out of our bag. And now he wants us to create a minimum 1 level shard. And he gave us 10 essences, which we shouldn't have to take out of the bag. So for this we go to the um, bound shard crafting device. You just type a 1. Here's the minimum level 1. He gave us the ingredients for it. Click craft, and we actually leveled up. So that'll happen very quickly with your Kenneth crafting. You'll level up pretty fast in the early levels. We are currently at, if we go to our character sheet, we're currently at level 2 for crafting, so that didn't give us much, but gave us something. All right, now he wants us to use the Dust of Disjunction on the heavy mace, and it's in the this first machine. So if you go start at the crafting hall, right, you go to the right. The first thing to your left is for breaking down items and disjuncting them so you could use them in crafting. The second machine is for making the shards, and the third machine is for attaching the shards to your item. So he wants us to just junk this, and I only bought one of these because if we're going to come craft again, we'll buy more. All right, so now what we have is a item that is available for crafting. All right, now we'll talk to him again. And he wants us to go to the bound item crafting and make a minimum 1 level, or minimum level 1 item, which is basically attach this to the item. So at the end of this life, we might craft a few items for next life. All right, so we put this in. Wait, that didn't work. Oh yeah, it did. There we go. All right, so now it's a +1, and you can see we could do that now. Like we don't have to wait. So when I went and made a blank, I could have actually just made this weapon, but we didn't have 10 essences, but we do now. So for next life, we could do that. So now we get an award. Didn't notice if I got any experience for that. I think I actually did get a little bit of experience. This lesser repetitive travel, we're not going to worry about. We can get a permanent one shortly. This, as soon as we're ready to start crafting, leveling up in crafting, we probably want to get these. These give us a 75% bonus. And the way you want to, you just get one. So the way you want to use these is basically in one big session. Sometimes you get these or even the better ones from the DDO store as a free item about once a year. So we might get those as well. Um, so what I'd recommend is taking these 25% crafting success percentage. This is a big part of leveling up, and then we could always take this next life and start leveling up next life. Your crafting levels will carry forward from life to life. All right, so let's take these. This will go in your ingredient bag. That's part of the reason why. And let's go ahead and gather that so they're in there. And that is crafting. All right, so we are gonna go to Three Barrel Cove, but I think I'm just gonna end this video here in case people don't want to watch it. Well, I'll do one last thing, which is go to the harbor and get hirelings for level 4. I normally just get about 4 of them. I don't want to mess with having to run around and get hirelings while I'm leveling. So I just usually get 4 or maybe 5 at the start of a level. And then if I have some left over, like I did last level, I just delete them. It's not a lot of plat, although it goes up each level. But I just find the convenience of not having to run around and get a hireling every time I expires, worth the inventory slots and worth the extra plat. All right, so we probably want a cleric or a favorite soul. Clerics generally have, level 4. So we can now get, I forgot, that's just level 2 and 3. Level 4 clerics are available in the marketplace. So from this point on, up until we get to Epic levels. This is probably where we'll get our hirelings from. They're also located around Stormreach, but oftentimes, like when you're in a zone, they have hirelings in the quest level and you're above the quest level. So it's still usually better to go here to get them because they, the zones like Giant Hold and uh, etc. might not have the ones you want. So a bard is an interesting choice. We might get a bard once we have self healing, but right now we still have healing issues, so our choices are going to be a cleric. Maloran, he has cure moderate wounds, cure light wounds, hold person, divine vitality 1, which is interesting because he can actually restore our spell points, which we don't need. For a favorite soul, he has cure moderate wounds, summon monster 1, bless, and night shield. So we'll probably just go with the cleric. Clerics are usually better as hirelings because they get spells sooner, so they usually have better heal spells than favorite souls. I just bought one. I'm going to go ahead and buy 4 of those. Unfortunately, they don't stack, so they're going to take up inventory space. So I'm going to buy 3 more. And we are going to head to Three Barrel Cove to farm for some named items before we start questing. The named items we want for this build is the armor. The armor in Three Barrel Cove has damage reduction 6 against piercing, damage reduction 6 against slashing, and there's a quarterstaff that has an improved critical range. It's probably the best quarterstaff. I don't think that's available to level 5 or 6 for use, but we can get it now. The armor is available now. And then there's on the way we'll stop at a couple, one chest just has random loot and the other one has a chance for a very rare rune arm that we could probably sell for astral shards or platinum. Um, if we want to sell it for platinum, we'll probably want to save it for a few levels when we have a bigger limit. All right, I'm going to end this video, log out, and then I'll start another one with the level 4 questing, starting with Three Barrel Cove Wilderness.